What's up, guys? So everyone's building something crazy right now with Claude Code, from beautiful looking websites to automating their entire life. I built something that generates entire ad campaigns, from images, videos, even ad copy, to make some really engaging scripts, all from a single product photo. And it costs just a couple of cents. Not only that, but also land clients with a premium monthly retainer in order to start getting some real income with this exact workflow I'm about to show you guys. And this is just going to overall upgrade your entire content strategy for your own business and brand. I won't get into Claude Code because I think there's a lot of videos already that give you a good introduction, but I will link an interactive course down below that you could take that's super fun and will get you started in terms of learning how to use Claude and seeing the powerful use cases you could get from it. But essentially, Claude Code is like having a developer, a strategist, and an operator all in one. Instead of just chatting with AI, you're actually building real tools with it. So first, I'm going to show you two workflows I built and get into how it works, and then provide some resources for you within my school community so you can build it yourself. We'll first take a look at the Ad Factory website, then take a look at a less complex version for it that's completely free using Airtable, and this will help you get started. If we go over to this Ad Factory website here, this is what the finished version looks like. This is the dashboard and exactly what I use for actual clients. And then we'll get into the build in terms of how I built this, but you could see there are some ad winning templates that I pretty much got from other brands. And what's pretty cool about this is I could insert any product here from any brand, and then it will automatically reference these ad templates in order to create a new ad variation with the product or brand that I'm choosing to execute on. And if we scroll up here, I even went a little bit kind of like more in depth in terms of adding a kind of like goal setting, which is kind of like a little mini game for me to help me land clients, see how many like emails I'm reaching out. It's just to overall gamify this app. But essentially, this is like the creative ad factory, or this is what I'm calling it. And you could see here I have some campaigns for a few clients, and then we go to our clients here. You could see that actually one of my clients just signed the scope of work on 420. And if we go here to like, you could see that I uploaded their products. So this app is really good for, let's say you only have limited assets, or you just have one product photo for a client or even your own brand. You're going to see here what you could really do with this overall ad factory and just kind of create different style templates for your own brand. And I mean, this stuff is really good. You could even like launch these as ads. And then I'm going to show you guys how you could turn these images into video assets. Let's say if I wanted to add more creatives here to this certain campaign, we'll just go here to this existing campaign, choose a product. Let's go with this blue one here. You could see that I kind of like divided this by product ad, branded ad, UGC, lifestyle, whatever the case might be, the variations that I want. So let's say we want 3 variations in the 9:16 aspect ratio. And in case you don't choose an ad template, you could just go in here, add these notes, and type out what you want. And it's going to reference what you've entered about that brand along with the product image. And it will create something really engaging using the latest model. So the cool thing about working with Claude is that in the back end, you could literally chat with it. It's like, hey, like OpenAI just released their version 2 of their image generator. Can you add this model for our app? And what it's going to do is going to get that from what we're using from our aggregator, which is key.ai. And it's going to basically add that model to your website and then deploy it on Railway. I'll show you guys how to get into that momentarily. So you could see here we have a bunch of templates that we uploaded ourselves. So let's say we go with this gummy bear template and we want to use this template here. And all you have to do is just generate from template. And look, it's even kind of cool that I actually added this Sonic animation as we're waiting for our ads to be created. Using that gummy bear template, you could see that it created these pretty cool images with just one product image. They're okay. I like this one here the most. But what's pretty cool is like after that, the image generated, you could literally go into this little video icon, and we're going to use Kling 3.0 and to generate a 5-second video from it. So once we hit generate, it's going to analyze that image, and then it's going to come up with a video prompt. So everything here is pretty automated, and it makes it super easy for us to really design these creatives. So here it comes up with the prompt. You could edit it here, whatever you want to do, but we'll generate that video too. Real quick, the way we're doing all this stuff is we're using key.ai in order to get those models. And what they do is they're pretty much an aggregator of all these models that you could get for a really cheap price. So it's pretty good in terms of like making it really cost effective. What I really like about key.ai too is that we could pay as we go. So you don't have to do a monthly subscription. So we could start with $5 for 1,000 credits. And this is gonna get us a good start here. So it looks like our video just finished creating, which was pretty fast. And all we'll have to do is play that. So let's see what that looks like. What's pretty cool is, let's say if I do approve some of these ads, like let's say for this one I approve, what that's going to do is go into our deliverables, and then you could see that these 2 ads that have been approved are ready for review. So I could literally get this link here, copy it, and then send this to a client. They could take a look at it and choose whether to leave some feedback or approve the creatives. So it makes everything a lot more seamless. I built it after running a much simpler version, which I'm about to share with you guys, and how you guys could build this too. And the simpler version has no web app, so you don't need to host this anywhere. It's literally just Claude Code talking to Airtable, which you already have for free. So it's kind of like the same workflow, and you get the same quality outputs, but this is more of a sort of client management app while still generating those stuff for the client. So if you go here to this Airtable setup, you have this base, this table, and each table is separated by a client or campaign. So you could see that I had this picture of this ramen, top ramen, and I asked it to create a sort of ad, and then you could see it creates these really cool product images. And for this example, we actually are going to chat with Claude in order to like show you guys how you guys could do this as well. But it all starts with one file, and I'm sure you guys heard about this, but it's your Claude.md. And what this is like the brain. So this is where you kind of like give it an instruction manual for each project in terms of how you're going to set it up, which tools it's going to call on and use. And you could even like give it some hard rules, so like making sure that you don't go over cost limits, or to tell you what the cost is going to be before it does and generates that. And you could also give it prompting writing tips. So for our web app, I made sure that it was sort of creating these ads from a winning marketing strategist who has years of experience working with top ad agencies. So it really depends on how you set this up, because the more detail and the more time you put into it, then the better off you're going to be in terms of your overall workflow. So if we go into Claude and see what that looks like, here you have the Claude.md, the sort of tools that it uses. So we've mentioned Key, how we're using Key.ai to pull from all those models. And then you can see that we have Airtable set up, and all you have to do really is just give Claude the API key. So you would sign up for an Airtable account or a Key.ai account, get the API key, and then just give that to Claude, and it really just does the rest. If we go to the references here, you could see that for the test folder, I already put the Dune Sun Care product here. And all we have to do is chat with Claude. So you could see that if we go back to our Airtable, we have our product image and the ads already generated for us. And don't worry guys, I'm going to include the Claude.md file in my Scoop community. So if you guys want to like access this and do this for yourself, the link is down below. In order for you guys to get started, all you have to do is download that Claude.md file. Once you have Claude Code installed, upload it there, and it would literally walk you step by step, so you don't have to do anything complicated on your end. And then yeah, it's pretty easy to set this up. So here, if we go through the Claude.md file, you could see already what we're telling it what its role is. So you are a creative content engine, an AI orchestrator that generates ad images and video content at scale. Your job is to take a product and a vibe, write creative prompts, generate image variations via Google AI Studio, manage review through Airtable, and convert approved images into short video ads via Veo, or and in this case you could use Kling or any other model, and then I would handle the human creative direction and approval. So you could see here the required keys that it needs. So you could see that for this specific project we have our Google API key in order to create those prompts, our key API key so we could pull from those video models, and then also we have our Airtable API key and our base ID. So all you would have to do is just install this into your own project, and then it will walk you through in terms of those steps that you would need to take. Let's in fact generate some new images for Dune Bodguard and try to see what comes up with. Hey Claude, I want to create new image ads for Dune Sun Care using Nano Banana, and I want these image ads to have a more UGC feel to them. So I want 2 UGC ads of a woman holding the product, and 1 ad that's more product focused using their brand colors while still keeping it dynamic. Alright, so it looks like Claude just finished generating those images for us with Nano Banana, and we're going to take them into our Seedance model and see what the cost is going to be. But I mean, insane, right? I mean, it looks like a real UGC image. It's pretty good. I could see it got some of the branding from the client there, and for our branded product, the fuck is that? Is that milk? Let's check out those videos it generated with Clean 3.0. So if we click here and let's replace, that's pretty cool. Nice. I love that slow-mo zoom in effect. It's just, it really did a good job. So one thing I wanted to sort of like go back to in terms of just the rules that we have in place for our Claude.md. At the end of the day, I want stuff to save you money. So that's why we always show the cost estimate before generating. Sometimes it's a max of 10 images or 5 videos per batch, which I think is really good, because at the end of the day, this stuff does take time to render and create those videos. So always keep that in mind, and then always just validate the configuration before every workflow. So is there any missing API keys? Like, what do we need in order to execute this? And just remember that Airtable is the source of truth. So that's where we'll be using as our database for the content engine. That way you guys don't have to build a web app, although you could essentially download this Claude.md file and then build something from there and make it your own, which is exactly what I did, and just it really becomes something useful. And in case you guys want more, I guess, tutorials or how to do that, just contact me or comment down below, and maybe I could probably set up like a sort of workshop that works out for everyone. So writing prompts that actually work, always lead with the hero product, so it's always referencing whatever product that you decide to upload, and then always specify lighting, set the mood, what format that's going to be in terms of like aspect ratio, and this is all included in your Claude.md. So it will always follow these sort of framework, and at the end of the day, it's just something that gives you a much more better output. So again, what's under the hood? I know this stuff could look a little bit intimidating, especially like I said, if you're not from a non-developer background. But at the end of the day, just think of this as your tools that your Claude.md file is pulling from. So at the end of the day, you are going to need to set this up, give it to Claude, and then from there, it pretty much builds the thing for you. Here within my school community, you guys will have access to all the resources and files. If you guys want to build this yourself, all you need is the Claude.md, and you'll see some instructions there on how to get started. But if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. Yeah, thank you guys for taking the time to watch it. I hope this definitely provided some value. I know at first messing around with Claude could get a little intimidating, but at the end of the day, you could really build some insane systems and workflows or whatever. Even if it's a website for yourself, if you're getting more experience, it's just going to make you a lot more unstoppable and put you in a much better position than people who are not experimenting with these tools. So this is a way that you could future proof yourself. So thanks again for watching this video, and yeah, I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.